just going to say three words right now: whiskey, tango, foxtrot. I, this is like my third or fourth time trying to start this video. To be honest with you, I just can't get past what I just watched. I don't know what that, especially that first part of the second period was. Anyway, we're gonna go into the video. Hopefully, I can get through this without losing my mind. But anyway, just ugh, it was so frustrating. Let's see what happens. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is Ryan from Seaway Sports Lounge, and tonight we're talking Leafs timeout, game 2 of Series 2 against Florida versus Toronto. This is my reaction, of course, as I've done so far throughout these playoffs. In this video, I'm going to be going through the game itself, the takeaways, like we always do, and express my opinion of where I think this is going and what I saw tonight. So, with that, let's just get right into it. So, in a disappointing result, again, Toronto lost 3-2, and that's put the team in a 2-0 hole against Florida. Everyone thought this game was going to have a hallmark comeback victory. The city was pumped, the fan base was ready to go. We were hoping Toronto would come out flying and give the Panthers a much better outing than last game, even though I felt they played fairly well against the Panthers for the most part. Not the results we're looking for. Stats for this game are interesting. So Toronto had 36-29. If you watch the game, Toronto was all over the Panthers all night. It was just a barrage of shots and ozone chances, and they put heavy pressure on the Florida defense and their goaltender. I mean, shots looked a lot more lopsided than this number showing here on TSN. Toronto did get one power play goal for 3 chances. Florida didn't have anything. Hits. Toronto and the Panthers were throwing the body around all night. It was really nice to watch on that front. A lot of physicality, lots of interesting play with that. A lot of change of momentum that way as well. Block shots. Florida was doing a lot more than Toronto. They were protecting their lanes as much as they could. If you notice, as you watch the game, Toronto had hardly any shots on their power play at times because there was no room. There's no room to shoot or do anything. So in turnovers, Toronto had 18 for 14 for Florida. It's fairly even, though it felt like Toronto had more turnovers than Florida because Florida capitalized on Toronto's turnovers. But anyway, let's go into the takeaways later for that. So, as I said, everyone hoped this game was going to be a really good comeback game. Toronto was going to come out flying, and they were going to throw it right to the Panthers. And you know what? It started off just as I said. Toronto was all over them. They were in their end for long periods of time. They were throwing shots on Bob nonstop. Anyway, at 2:20, Alex Kerfoot got his second goal of the playoffs. Unbelievable. It was a really good play. He had an open net. He threw it in. Building was just rocking. Everybody was cheering. It was great. It was just good energy. And then 5:10, not long after, Toronto got power play. Ryan O'Reilly ended up getting his third of the playoffs as well. Again, really nice, two nice goals by the guys from Mitch Marner and Matthews. Overall, I was very pleased with that. Game was fully in control for Toronto. It looked great. They were skating for most of the first. And then at 11:13, Anton Lundell ended up getting his first of the playoffs and cut the lead to 2-1. And it was kind of a crappy goal. It went in. Anyway, from Sam Reinhart, anyway, put 2-1 into the intermission. There was a bit of a turn of momentum, but it didn't feel at the time that it was enough to worry about because Toronto still was playing rather well in Florida's end. But anyway, after the intermission rolled by, that is when everything went for a crap. It just did not. I don't even know what that was. The reactions from Keefe and the reaction from Dubas, and even some guys on the bench, they didn't actually know what just happened. They didn't know. So here's what happened. The period starts. Toronto was trying to get out of their end. There was some weird play with the puck. McCabe kind of was dangling with it. Marner was messing around with it. So was Matthews at times. They just lost control. They lost control of the puck battle that was mentioned by Dallas Eakins in the intermission. That they lost control of the puck battle, and Panthers made them pay. They just had that. It was clean play. They had 2-3 passes, bang in the net. Alexander Barkov 2-2 tied the game up. And it was like right at the beginning, 19 seconds in. So people didn't even have a chance to sit down after getting their food, like just, and I hate those goals. That kind of crap. bothers me when I see that. Like right at the beginning of a period, it just did not go. It just wasn't good. So anyway, 2-2. Barkov gets that. Then, like 47 seconds later, okay, that's all it took. 47 seconds later, another draw. Toronto dangling with the puck, messing around. No one was hitting anyone. I don't even know what that was about. No one was taking the body. It was almost like the Maple Leafs were asleep. They just stopped skating. They stopped playing the game completely, and it just Florida just took it and just put it right past Samsonov. Again, very similar kind of play as that other goal. And 3-2 now. So they were 2-0 at 5-10 into the first. And by less than a minute into the second, now it's 3-2 Florida. And that's it. Like Toronto played catch up the rest of the night. And after that goal, Toronto they didn't call timeout, which I thought they should have, but they didn't. Anyway, they ended up starting to put the pressure on again. The shots were rolling along. Everything looked okay. We thought, okay, this might maybe they could start. Then the real stuff started to happen. Toronto was throwing the body around, and then they realized, oh boy, if we don't get a goal here, we're not going to win this game. That's my opinion anyway, with what I saw, the way they were playing. The desperation started to get into the team, and they were just going right at the Panthers right through the second period. Toronto responded to that goal properly, but Bob was phenomenal all night. He was dialed in so good. There were goals that should have happened. There was crossbars, posts. I mean, Toronto was throwing everything they had at him during the second and into the third. Nothing, just did not go past him. And some stuff, you're like pulling your hair out. You're like, what is happening here? Anyway, third period rolls around. Toronto's realizing the time's starting to run out. They continue to pour the pressure. The third period was by far their best period. They really like hemmed Florida in. There were points where they were just cycling players back and forth off the bench because they just kept pushing the Panthers. But Bob stood his ground. He just did his job, and you know what? He deserved that win, and he stole the game. That's what he did. He stole the game, and there were no goals. Toronto tried their best; they could not get things, and it was very similar to game one. Sorry, where they kind of like they were either gripping their sticks a little too tightly, or they were just missing. It was just off because if they would have connected with half of those things, half of those shots would have been the net. But Bob did his job anyway. Lose 3-2, then they go down 2-0. Now, takeaways from this. Let's start with the simple one. You have to play 60 minutes. You don't play 57 and a half. You play 60. This Florida team, guys, will punish you. They punish the Bruins, and they are riding high right now. They are riding probably the biggest high in a very long time for this franchise. They just beat out the best team in the NHL in the season. They've now beaten you twice in your own rink. They've stolen a game as far as I'm concerned, because the metrics I was hearing from one of the shows, Leafs Talk on YouTube, is really good. Everyone should listen to them. Bob, the only reason why they won, in my opinion. Another takeaway, the Maple Leafs dominated everything from face-off wins to zone time to shots on net, shots attempts. I mean, you name it. You know what? They should have won. This was a game they should have won again. And this is what's going on in this series. And this is what I'm starting to notice is that I have this feeling, and it's just a feeling, that we may be seeing this for the rest of the series. As in, I hope this is not what I think it is, but I don't want to put any craziness on this. But unless they make a change to their tactics, whether it's putting someone in front of the net, which they did against Vasilevsky all through their series and won, and they're not doing that with Bob. Bob sees everything right now. He's dialed in, man. You have to break his confidence and you have to put people in front of the net. I don't know who that would be, whether it be JT or another big body. Just put someone in front so he can't see. It's as simple as that. I think that would help greatly. And you know what? You're stronger than the Florida Panthers are for the most part on most of their deep pairings. You're the stronger team. You could put someone there, and I have a feeling that they wouldn't even be bothered half. So anyway, that's a big takeaway. Another one, just keep playing. Don't get don't get boggled down by this. It's awful, but you outplayed the Panthers by a mile. It is just uncanny how much they own them tonight. and they can do that for the rest of the series. But just the results weren't there tonight. William Nylander, excellent period. I am truly hoping he will wake up. He will really start to really shine. He is. He shined that third. He was great. Just couldn't bury the put in the net. Matthews, he was there. Marner, he was there. They were just playing very well. They just couldn't get the results. But the other thing is that this mistake filled uh thing they're doing in clumps needs to stop because that's how Florida's winning. They're scoring in bunches in very short order because of mistakes that Toronto is doing. And they're mistakes that they haven't done all year. Like these lapse plays and these uncontrollable pucks in their own end and the slowness of their skating. Guys, you get the puck, get it out. I mean, it sounds same thing, but just get it out. I don't understand what happened there. Like I said, that first part of that second period baffles my mind. Even like I said like earlier, I said Coach Keefe's face showed it all in that. Like, what was that? That's all I have to say. What was that? But anyway, it's all done. Game's over. You're down two. You're going to Florida. You're going to Sunrise. Job's simple. Keep playing like that. Cut down the mistakes. It's easy for me to say, but cut down the mistakes. Play more sound hockey. The pucks will go in. They will. If you put someone in front of Bob, the pucks will probably go in. He's a very fast moving goalie. He'll get out of positions quick too. And you know what? You're putting it directly on him. Try to bounce it off of him or try to. I mean, it's easy for me to say, but that's what you need to do. But anyway, that's how I feel. I mean, like I said, this video was not going to be an easy one to make because I'm still very flustered about the whole game to start with, as you can tell based on my reaction and how I'm chatting here. Right? They need to make some changes. The lineup was fine, as in the lineup itself's fine. There's not much change there. It's their tactics. Change your tactic. You're going at him all the time is not going to work. You need to put someone in front of him. You needed to mess him up a little bit in terms of his vision. Clearly, this is the Bob of old. You know what? He's dialed in. He wants to win. So you know what? You got to break him. You got to figure out a way to stop him. Because if you let him continue this way, it's a sweep. Simple as that. He is going to steal this series from Toronto. Because as far as I'm concerned, especially after tonight's results, Toronto, they own them. They got right through all their defenses. They were right at the goalie and they stared him down and he won. So they have to make a change. So it's gonna be very interesting to see in game three what they're gonna. So anyway, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you very much for watching. Like I said, I'm a little flustered right now, but it's I needed to do this video. Hope everyone enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what we're doing, hit the like or subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.